Welcome to Modern Marketing Messages, the leading podcast discussing the latest and greatest in both online and offline marketing tactics, strategies, and trends. I'm your host, Taylor Karg, marketing content writer at AmericanEagle.com. Today, we're going to focus on marketing initiatives as they relate to nonprofit organizations. To do that, I have here with me Wesley McChristian, Kentico Practice Director at AmericanEagle.com, and Brandon Davis, Vice President of Brand Engagement at YMCA of Metropolitan Chicago. Welcome to the show, Wes and Brandon. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Thanks for having us.
Thanks.
And can both of you introduce yourselves a little bit, including your role at your respective companies, a little bit about your background, kind of what brought you here today?
Yeah, so I've been with American Eagle for 13 years now. Started as a project manager. Did some time like it was a punishment.
Yeah.
In the inside sales department, which is was a division inside of our client services department. And for the last 7 years, I've been working directly with Kentico and clients like the YMCA to implement the technology and meet a variety of business goals.
And I'm super excited to be here. Like they say, it's fun to stay at the YMCA.
Yeah.
So we are super
we gotta
excited.
Put that in the background.
I hope so. And my role as Vice President of Brand Engagement is really focused on a lot of components of our core brand, marketing, communications, our work in experiential events, consumer science and insights, the research that we do. So basically anything that relates to the why I get to help with and be a strategic connector across the organization, which I love, and get to work on amazing projects like our web projects, like our technology, where it's supporting our customers, the clients, those that we serve, and everything in between.
Awesome. Well, I think, I have the two best people for this episode right here. So just a little bit of background on why we're discussing what we are today. And it's because the Y is a valuable client of AmericanEagle.com. And at the end of 2022, they launched a brand new website, which I know took a lot of work. So we thought it would be interesting to discuss both the redesign with Wes and then kind of talk about, the website and how it fits into your overall marketing strategies.
Absolutely. It's a beautiful website, and we're so grateful to have partners from AmericanEagle.com and Wes who helped us from the conception of it.
Well, and credit where it's due, I was more behind the scenes than anything.
Yeah.
There was a wonderful team of project managers and developers, that candidly did all the hard work.
Yeah, an amazing team at the Y2, our internal and IT department, as well as team members from my team, the marketing team. We've got a little peanut gallery down at the end here in the studio today. So it's a well-rounded team that's done so much to really get the Y to this 21st century social enterprise that we are today, with a fantastic website that really meets all of our needs.
And still rolling too, right? I mean,
absolutely.
The site launch was just a fairly arbitrary milestone.
Yeah.
The team members here at American Eagle, as well as all of the individuals you just mentioned, right, are working day in and day out to push the needle. Right?
It's never ending. And I think that's an important point when we think about digital, is you have to keep investing over and over. And the day you stop investing is the day your website or digital product dies. And so for us, it's all about that continual enhancement, the continual opportunities to partner and learn from the experts at AmericanEagle.com, our colleagues, what we're hearing in our communities and what they need, and continuing to evolve those products as products of what we offer to our customers and the marketplace and communities, but also the digital products themselves. So it's ever ongoing, as you said, Wes.
And I just want to point out that the new website has even won a few awards already that we've submitted. So that's been an exciting endeavor. And those are something that, we will continuously submit you guys for. So I just wanted to point that out to the listeners.
We're super proud of it.
You guys should be. It's a really great website. Okay, so let's talk about some background about the YMCA, originally, as well as some of its recent marketing initiatives. Let's set the stage for everything that this website redesign kind of sets the foundation for.
Yeah. So the YMCA Metropolitan Chicago is 165 years old this year.
Wow.
We're a legacy organization that has done so much in community. And what we like to talk about is we're an innovative organization. We're constantly innovating. We created basketball, if you can believe that. We created the first swim lesson ever because of opportunities that we were seeing in the community where people needed to mitigate risk, or they needed an outlet, or they needed something to do. And so you take those components and then you add in other sports like volleyball that was created at the Y. And there's so much that is part of our rich history, which we're so excited about. And you fast forward to today, and where we're really focused on is our core business segments, which are health and well-being, learning, and community investment and belonging. And when you put those things together, there's really nothing that we can accomplish. Our Y is across the Chicagoland area, but we're also much broader than that. We also reach into northern Wisconsin, western Michigan, and certainly Illinois and across the state because of all of the sites that we have, ranging from our centers to our overnight camps and family camps. And we have more than 100 on-site and off-site education programs, and then 2 housing facilities. So we are pretty big in what we're doing. We serve over 300,000 people directly a year, and we reach more than 10 million a year too.
Wow. I didn't even know any of like the first basketball game and volleyball and all that stuff. And that's incredible.
It's a lot of fun to be at the Y. The work that we do is you can just see the impact that you're having right away. I love going to some of our spaces where you have the toddlers running around and they're so happy and bouncing up and down and dancing, as are our staff members who are engaging with them and teaching them all day long. You go to one of our sites where there's a pool and you can see the swimmers learning how to swim, or you have our active older adults who are in the pool doing aqua therapy, and you just see how the work of the Y is so integral to their lives. And at the end of the day, what we like to say is you already belong at the Y. No matter who you are, there's a place for you. There's something for you. So come get involved in the numerous ways we can. And a lot of that sometimes starts at the very front, which the first thing people see is our website when you're learning about it. And so we needed to make sure that we had a website that could allow anyone who came to it the opportunity to learn more about what we offer, all of those things I just mentioned, be able to enroll in classes, be able to get more information in a really thoughtful way that put all of the products in our core lines of business at the very forefront. And we did it.
That sounds incredible. I'm like, wow, I want to go to the Y right now.
Come join us. You already belong. You could be a athleisure aficionado. You could be a buzzer beater, a pickleballer. We've got something for everyone. And there's so many personas that you fit into and that we're trying to highlight every single day.
So can you tell me a little bit about the marketing initiatives behind, spreading this message and having all of these people know that they're a part of this community? And what things have you guys been doing recently?
Absolutely. One of the things I'm most excited about with the YMCA Metropolitan Chicago right now is we're rebranding. And that's something we haven't done in a long time. And people think of the Y, and sometimes you think of it as maybe your grandparents' Y that you grew up with, or maybe it's something else and that one little experience you had. What we're really trying to do is, as we rebuilt our brand, we came up with this concept that just works so well, and it's so poetic, but it's our entire brand, and what the Y does revolves around the power of play. Any age, any idea, anything you're doing, you play at the Y. And so we love this idea of how that traverses all of the offerings that we have. You can go to camp, you could be in education, it could be health equity, be youth safety and violence prevention. There's healing in play. And so this whole concept is coming to life, and that's really where our brand is heading. And when we take that and apply it to all of our work, I mentioned some of the personas, and we've used this as part of campaigns that we've been doing to highlight how you can be a part of the Y and pulling that in. If you head to our website right now, you'll actually see we're inspiring change with the power of play. It's the first thing you see on our website. And I love the image that's associated with it. That is a girl playing soccer in a tutu at one of our centers. It just really, to us, the website helps us tell that story and be able to take all the campaigns that we're doing and really serve as a destination for everyone to come find information and find out how they can play themselves.
And I think you're touching on something really important that we maybe talked a lot about in the early phases of the project, right? In some of your more strategic initiatives, right? Is this idea of community.
Yes.
And the power of play is so it's so local, right? That all of what you're describing can be attributed to like almost an individual campus.
100%
for the Y itself. Like I live up the street from Bueller.
Amazing.
Right? So,
Thank you.
So
thank you for coming into the Y all the time.
It might be my daughter in the tutu.
No, it's so true though. When you think about community,
exactly,
it is this hyper localness in many ways, or it is that you're part of something bigger than just you and yourself and maybe your own community. And that really is resonating with the folks that we are working with day in and day out. And what's so important because of our geographic reach is we have to make sure that each individual feels understood, not only feels understood, they have to be understood. We have to understand what those individual community needs are, or else we're not really serving them at the end of the day. You can't take every single thing that we offer and just plop it into a geographical location and say it's going to be successful. Yeah. It's just not.
Yeah.
And so for us, it's taking and understanding what is it that Wes and the Palatine community need, and then we offer those things. Or maybe it's what does Taylor need in the city of Chicago, and how do we provide those things at the Y? And it's not going to be a 1-for-1, or maybe it will end up being based on what the community needs. But it's that consistent understanding, serving, researching, finding out what else is happening, and then serving everyone exactly what they want when they want it. And that's really what we're trying to do every single day at the Y.
Yeah. And I feel like, sorry, go ahead, Wes.
Well, I was just going to say, so, and I think, and I'm looking at the Bueller page right here in front of me, exactly what you just described. It's clear that you've put a lot of effort into creating a digital experience that's meant to match the physical experience.
Absolutely.
I swear that I was just about to say that. I was like, from digging through the website, it feels like each individual location feels like you're there, and it knows exactly what the community needs and the people there. And it's just very like the essence is there of the communities, and it's something really special.
Yeah, there's no smoke and mirrors when it comes to us. What you have on the website is what we want you to experience in real life, and vice versa. And that was a really intentional design we built with the website in mind. Was we want to show what exactly do we offer in this location, and how does that mirror what the community is asking for and who they are and who's coming, down to the imagery, and trying to get as much real world imagery as we can to incorporating that the way that we talk even. And that's reflective of the language and this playfulness, and the Y is a place for play. And that's what we wanted to really shine through, which we think we really accomplish when we look at the website, the way it's designed, the words, everything about it, the navigation. It's just a masterpiece at the end of the day.
Oh, something that I remember about the navigation is looking at clicking into like all of the locations. You can just move the map, and then it just populates all of the locations depending on where you move it. And I remember when I was writing the press release about the launch, I was like, this is cool.
It's a really great capability within it. And I'm a geek because I like to find out where things are on a map, or click and see how things are close to me or proximity. And that's one of the pieces that we haven't fully executed against yet. And that's okay. We think about personalization, and we've been capturing information over the last 6 months to allow us to really take all of that data, but then start to use it and start to have personalization. It's going to be a crawl and then a walk and then a run, but we're taking all that information, understanding what we have in terms of our data and the power behind it, and then being able to use that to provide even more of that personalization on each of those pages, whether it's Wes who's coming on and is at the Bueller Y page and is looking for these types of things, and providing those same experiences over and over for exactly what Wes is looking for. Or it's the ability to serve out someone new who's coming in that is looking for something, but we can be a little bit more specific, and then integrating other products that we have into it to really have this robust user journey that at the end of the day, we're all hungry for, but the Y can actually provide it now.
Yeah, absolutely.
And you have a lot of technology in play already, right? The map experience is Google, and the registration is, your other systems, and Kentico obviously powering and collecting not just the content management, but a lot of the personalization triggers as well. And, the crawl, walk, run strategy is exactly what we advise, right? Because so many people just want to try and boil the ocean right off the bat, and it's unsustainable to do that. It's untenable, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So to use technology like Kentico, collect the data, build the strategy, continue to take one step forward, as you were saying earlier, right? Do an evaluation and then keep moving. I think that's a really admirable way to to go about meeting community needs in this digital footprint. I mean, because I think that's, I mean, it's really cool.
Well, we
to
appreciate
think about.
that.
Yeah.
And I think what's important too, when we think about it, is there was probably a moment, and I was probably guilty of it, where we were saying, we want to run right away.
Yeah,
I'm
right.
sure.
Right.
There always is.
And Wes was probably on the phone saying, Brandon, stop. No, it's not going to work.
It's
I
usually
that.
yes, but.
Yes, and. And I think what was helpful, though, was as our partner, our true partner, Wes, the other members of the team were able to say, look, we understand where you want to go, but remember, this thing is going to be here. We're going to continue investing in it every single month. We're continuing to work with you even after this launch we had in November of 2022. And every single month, we're adding new capabilities and new features and making it better and continuing to improve it. And that's how we can take all of this data and continue to advance our website for everyone. And when we have new opportunities that are coming out in the world around us that require us to have new additions or to serve people or to make changes to accessibility, whatever it is, it's all of these things that we continue to do to make sure that we are reflective of the community and meeting their needs time and time again.
Yeah, absolutely. And just to take a step back, and I know I got ahead of myself right there, but so let's talk about just the website redesign process altogether. Wes, you know a lot about this, especially, being so involved with Kentico and then, a large involvement in this project. Let's talk about the thinking behind the entire website redesign. Why did you guys seek a new experience for all of your communities?
If you would have seen the old website, you would understand.
I wish I did. I wish I was able to look through it.
Cut to the Wayback Machine.
Yeah.
Yes, cut to Wayback Machine. You can see it. It was just not productive. It wasn't helpful. It was the fact what we had created for years and years and years was run on an old CMS that was wildly out of date. There was an approach that was taken that was to create an initial website, but then replicate it for each of our sites. So we had more than, I want to say, 2,000 core pages of content that actually were the same thing over and over, but you had to go to each page and change it over and over and over.
Oh,
and
boy.
It was just not a good use of anyone's time.
Yeah.
It wasn't mobile optimized. It wasn't accessible. The color contrast just didn't work. I mean, everything about it, you name it, it was bad. And so that was a part of this, but it was also this ability to, we want to collect more data. The amount of information that the Y has and can serve the communities to help be able to solve the social determinants to health is incredible. And that's what we're trying to do. So you take those things, you take the ability to be able to allow ease of use. And frankly, at the end of the day, it's a better looking website now too. That is far more modern. It's able to be used. It's what someone expects when you would go to a website now. So it was all of those things as to why we really started and looked to find a partner and cut to AmericanEagle.com that really was going to be a partner with us for the website. But it was also important as we knew where we wanted to go and why we were going there. And that was an important component as part of our decision-making process too, was we chose American Eagle not just because they could develop the website, which we know could happen, but it was that long-term view. There's more that we've done with AmericanEagle.com as well since we've launched our website. We've built a data and analytics dashboard as part of our roadmap. We're continuing to invest in the website in other ways. I won't say more things that I'm sure are coming down the pipeline, but there's so much that we wanted to do. And the depth and breadth of expertise that comes from the AmericanEagle.com team is exactly what we were looking for in a partner.
And you had done quite a bit of work, I think, in the really early discovery phase too, because the journey you're describing is very daunting, right? It's hard to a lot of people feel handcuffed to the technology that they're leaving behind. How could we imagine, right, a world without all of this stuff we can't actually do today, right?
Yeah.
And the challenges that come with it. And for projects like this, often like the change management, right? The internal processes and the asset management and all of these different business connotations, like that's very daunting to start to consider. How are these things going to change, and how are we going to start down the journey of of reinvesting in the brand as you
Yeah.
guys have. And so, I think, right, the work you did very early on, some of the work we did together very early on from a strategic perspective, I think then set some guardrails for the rest of the build process, right? Because it gave us kind of a North Star to chart against in these,
Yeah.
Potentially rough open waters.
Absolutely.
Right?
When you have an organization as large as ours,
Right.
or not as large as ours, it doesn't really matter. You have to have that scoping. You
Yeah.
have to have that strategy. You have to understand that there is going to be change, and that inevitably is going to be challenging to a lot of individuals. And we went from having a CMS and a website that everyone at the Y, except for me, had access to and could publish on, to having only our marketing team now accessing and publishing on, is a really big change.
Yeah.
That alone.
Huge.
And that we could have just done that with an old website, right? That could have happened. But the fact is that we also took it and said, and we're going to add this, and we're going to add this, and we want to be able to do this because it serves our customers and it integrates these components. It's a really big scoping exercise, and candidly transformational and innovative, which gets back to what we've been doing at the Y,
Right.
and how ultimately everyone got on board because they see it as what we do each and every day.
Mm-hmm. So as your role as the VP of brand engagement, kind of what part did you play in this entire process? I'm just curious.
I got to play a lot of roles as part of this process. A partner to our chief technology officer. And as he and I were discussing and approaching this, we wanted to make sure that this was a true partnership between technology and brand strategy and marketing and our two teams, and making sure that every step of the way we were aligned. So it was really important that us, as the executive sponsors of this project, were in lockstep. We also served, as importantly, too, was part of the design. Yes, we were looking at the components of our brand and making sure that they were represented. But you take it past that step, and it's also the content. We had a moment where, before I came in as part of my role, there was a viewpoint that we were just going to take content from the old website and copy and paste it into the new one. Over my dead body. Classic, right? And that was not going to fly. And what we did was say, no, let's really take this as a moment to change and evolve with where we're headed with our brand, the power of play, and really showcase that in a different way. And so we developed an entirely new content structure and system and way of talking, and all of these components that really show a new Y, a fresh Y, a playful Y on our website. And so it's really bite-sized information across the entire website, easy to understand, easy to navigate. What we also did was reframe the way in which people were able to access information. It used to be that we were delivering content based on the way the Y was organized internally and pushing that outward.
Okay.
But that's not how people are accessing information these days. They're coming in and saying, I want to go and learn how to swim. So I'm going to go to swimming, and I'm going to learn about that. And then I can see, oh, here's where the Y offers it. And it happens to be that it's in my community. Well, instead of doing that, we were breaking it down first in other ways, and people couldn't access or find information. So it was also this transformation of a new way of navigating and accessing information that we put forward, that I helped to lead our team with, which was a really fun exercise in saying, how do we actually portray our brand in the marketplace and allow people to come and find us? And I'll tell you, the results have been really powerful.
Oh, love it. Okay.
We have seen, since the launch, we have seen an increase in users coming to our website. We've seen an increase in the amount of pages per visit that are happening. We have seen decreases over time of bounce rates, which we love to see.
Mm-hmm.
There's that stickiness factor now that we're getting.
Yeah.
And overall, we're seeing an increase in conversions that we want to have happen. So whether that is people registering for a single program, signing up to become a community member or a member at the YMCA, applying for a job, we're seeing all of these take shape. And that is a result of what we were able to do with the website and those goals that we set out from the very beginning.
Yeah, no, we were talking even about like even micro conversions, like downloading the schedule to the swim lessons,
Yes.
right? As an indicator of interest that somebody's going to show up the brick and mortar and
That's right.
and actually register there in person, right?
That's
Which I think that's important in understanding like the funnel of lead generation and actual registration interest. Which I think is a neat way to approach measurement when you're dealing with, again, this intersection of digital and physical.
That's right.
Yeah.
The Y has an interesting model because you can do a lot of things online. You can do a lot from your house, on the go, whatever it is. But at the same time, it's very much like retail. Some people like to see that physical product before they buy it.
Yeah.
And for us, a lot of people want to come in and see, what are our spaces like?
Right.
What am I going to experience? Do you have something that meets my needs? Or I was only thinking about this, but actually you told me you have all of this. And so it is a true differentiator for the Y to be able to say those micro conversions are so important as part of our process too, in that funnel, to be able to drive towards the purchase, the conversions, but ultimately too, later on is those retentions that we want.
So we talked a little bit before on, the navigation features, but what other features have come with the new website that, you didn't have before, or you're really proud that you guys added on the website? Or any features that are, helping in the, number of users or people staying on a page or clicking on more pages?
There are some small ones and some big ones. And I want to highlight even the small wins that we had. We have built out, and I'm a PR guy through and through in many ways too, and a news junkie. But I love the way we've built out our news, events, and blogs pages. And blogs was recently added too. And it's been really exciting for us to have them for our various sites, but be able to talk about events and news in a different way to really drive a lot of new content, which is super exciting because we can really be a content marketing machine because there's so much that's happening across the Y. I also love, again, it sounds so simple, but the banner that's at the top that we love. There's this beautiful yellow banner. We track all of the links. That is one of the most clicked items across our entire website anytime we do it. And I think right now, if I'm not mistaken, it mentions our new family camp, which is Family Camp Pinewood, which is in Western Michigan. And we're inviting everyone to go there. It's a brand new offering for us. But the fact is, we're seeing what you would expect a normal behavior to be of people clicking. That's the first thing you see. It's standout. And so it's one of the great features that we didn't have in such a prominent way on our old website. The features like the map location, being able to see where things are in proximity to you. I mean, you take all of these things and it just really is transformational.
Yeah.
And I don't want to miss out on the fact that the way that you can log in and have an account now, you can join and log in as a member, but you can also just log in as a guest. And that's really helpful when it comes to marketing, because now we're getting that information and we can provide you the information that you're looking at time and time again. And all of these together just really prove the power of what a website can do and how it really is a game changer for organizations.
Yeah, absolutely. And if I remember correctly from the press release, the logging into the My Account functionality, there's like different things that people can do once they're in there that they couldn't before, which I think is huge for the user experience.
That's right. If you have a family now, you can have your family account all within there. And if you're going in to sign up little Johnny for swim, you can actually do that right there. And the technology that's built in also allows us to say, you've got Johnny and Taylor and Wes and your family. Well, this program is only for Johnny and Taylor. So sorry, Wes, you can't register for this one, but it's not going to let you register. So you actually are having more of that personalization factor in there for families, for individuals, whomever it is that's going in there, which is a neat feature for us to be able to have and make sure that, I mean, truly it's what you would expect of a website today.
Those are the highlights for me. I'm at a point in my life where I get really excited about nerdy things like integration, right?
Yeah.
Like,
well, you work in technology, Wes.
That's my day to day, right?
Yes.
And I think like the integration that got wired up to allow for those registration processes, I think is just really super cool.
Yeah.
And I'm also the proud father of 2 young kids. So like
Johnny and Taylor.
Yeah, Johnny and Taylor. Yeah. Right. They're 5 and 7. Right. So this type of things that I would be registering my kids for, like, so to like get excited about the nerdy stuff like integration. Well, I know how it works. So that makes me more likely and excited to actually register for it. So
us techie geeks and nerds get excited about the website and the components that are all incorporated, which is exciting when we see it working in real time.
Well, because it produces dividends in the context of user experience,
absolutely.
Right? Because not only am I excited about the tech stuff, right, because of what I do for a living, but because I'm a father, I need to be able to understand the inputs required for registration and the confirmations and all of the restrictions and liabilities and all of that thing that as an end user, right, as that audience, right, the website is like providing me, right? It's prompting me for these things. That sort of experience, I think, is just so cool.
Absolutely. You add that, you add the fact that the way we built it and now the retargeting and advertising that we can do with it is really powerful. And we've seen that because we've done several campaigns now that have retargeting, digital advertising components with it, geo-targeting, all these things that are driving to the website and then continuing to foster that over and over. And it's really, really working. You take that, you can also add in just features that we normally do, but are now so much more advanced where as soon as someone registers, we have that information. And if it's for day camp, the next day, the next morning at 7 a.m. on the dot, you're getting an email with all of the information you need from day camp to send out. And so it's really helping us truly create that ease of that experience and getting the information that you need for the camper in your life or whatever it may be as part of the WISE programs and offerings.
Right. Yeah, that streamlined user experience, at least to me, is so important because if it takes any more than like 15 seconds for me to do something, I'm out. I'll exit the page and be like, I'll try again tomorrow.
I want you to be able to read the content in 15 seconds. That's it. You shouldn't have to spend more than 30 on the entire page.
So I love that about the site. And so let's kind of switch gears to all of the marketing initiatives and we'll get into what we've been doing. And you mentioned a little bit right there that you've been doing a little bit of digital advertising. Let's talk about that. What kinds of things have you guys been doing?
So there's a few different things that we've done since the beginning of the year. Every year we do have what we affectionately call Gym and Swim, and it's part of our membership offerings at the YMCA. And so in January, February, March, we went out with a really exciting membership campaign called You Already Belong. And it was all about these personas that resonate with a lot of people. You can be a buzzer beater, a pickleballer, a namaste newbie, a happy camper. And in some way, shape, or form, you're going to resonate with one or more of those. My personal favorite was Swole Grandpa. And we also had Expecting Dad Bods. So you get the essence of like what we're trying to do and who we're talking about.
I love that it's fun. It makes you laugh.
Absolutely.
Like it still gets the point across.
Why does the Y have to be serious?
Yeah.
It's a fun place.
It'd be weird if it was serious.
Agreed.
You know?
And so it's that type of campaign. And so we've been able to go out and really think about this holistic integrated marketing campaign that incorporates internal communications. It incorporates the external. We have PR, we have media, we have the digital marketing, the social media marketing. I mean, you name it, we're literally taking advantage of every tool in our arsenal and being able to do that. We've done some other really exciting campaigns. One of the ones we are working with the Illinois Department of Public Health is around vaccination uptake, but more importantly is understanding and educating people around vaccinations. So no matter what way you decide to go, is just understanding the facts of it. And it's been an exciting one because we've been able to utilize so many things as part of our portfolio to be able to talk about that, to be able to showcase real life people in the situation and be able to market this information to them so that they have the right information and aren't just relying on misguided information, fake information, whatever it is as part of that. We've done things with day camp, overnight camp, now family camp. There's so much that we're doing in this space with our marketing and advertising. It's entirely different than what it was a couple of years ago. And I'm really proud of our team of what we've been able to put together as a small but mighty team and being able to do so much on a daily and monthly basis that we're putting out. And then certainly the returns that we're seeing as a result of that. We've got the right experts in our seats now. And I'm just couldn't be more proud to see the work that we're doing.
Have you guys seen like good engagement numbers on these campaigns that you've been running, or kind of what has been the experience with that?
We have. I love using a little stoplight situation. And during the months of January and February and March, when our marketing campaign was in market, was going hard, to use the stoplight example, it was lit up green every single day. And it was so exciting to see how that was so different from numbers of the past. Even pre-pandemic, we were seeing numbers far better than what we were because of the way we are marketing now.
Mhm.
We're seeing the same thing in day camp. Our day camps, several of them are waitlisted. And now it's going after and saying, how can we find more talent, more counselors to come in? So if you have folks who want to be counselors, or you want to take the summer off and take a sabbatical, we'd love to have you.
You can ask my boss that and I'll do it.
I'd be happy to. But we're seeing the results that we want and the wait list. And so our efforts are working, which is really exciting. And that's what, at the end of the day, our team is here to do, and support the entire organization and be able to, day after day, provide these results that are just powerful.
Yeah, absolutely.
And one thing I'm always interested in too is like the context of a dollar, right? And you're sort of giving us this sense of like a dollar wouldn't get you very far on that old site, right? Because you had limitations, you had restrictions, and now we've sort of unlocked that with new technology.
Absolutely.
Like Kentico specifically. Like, do you feel like a dollar takes you farther now when you spend it?
Yes.
Like, can you maybe tell us a little bit about that too?
Absolutely. I think when you think about the value of a dollar, your value is going a lot further now.
Okay.
And here's why I say that. The way that we are thinking about how we offer what we do, yes, we have this new website that has far better ease of use, so you can register easier. That's value when you think about it. The way that we're now attracting organizations and partners that want to be part of things, that want to help offset the cost to families and individuals, right? That value of that dollar is going even further now. And so it is the capability of a website. It is the capability of how we think about our work differently, and really being able to make sure that we understand a dollar is precious and to so many people, and how it is that we make sure that when you walk through our doors or when you engage with us, your dollar is being maximized. We want everyone to understand that. And what's also important is, and we're proud of this, is we don't turn anyone away. If you need help, we're going to help you get there. And so it also is helpful to know that your dollar is going to be stretched as far as possible to help those that may not be able to pay a full amount, may be able to only pay a partial amount, or that wouldn't be able to pay at all. But know that because of all of this combined as one community, we're going to make sure that everyone has a chance.
Got it. And then from a marketing perspective, you're seeing you're sharing, right? There's return.
Oh, absolutely.
Right. And some of it's intangible, which I think is really important from a measurement perspective too, right? It's not just about how many registrations did the swim class get, but also how invested is the community in subsidization of programs,
100%, and just seeing the why again, right? I think I grew up as a Y kid, and so I had a lot of experiences. And after I grew up and went to college and entered the working world, I wasn't thinking about the why for a long time. And then all of a sudden, it popped up for me because I got a job opportunity. And I said, well, wait a second. Where's the why been? It hasn't left. It's still here. But we want everyone to be able to see the why. And so that's where our marketing dollars are going to say, we want everyone to be able to see the why of how they can be a part of this, because at the end of the day, it goes back to our marketing campaign. You already belong. No matter who you are, what you're doing, you already belong. And so we want everyone to feel that, and how the work that we're doing is uplifting communities. It's helping people. And so that marketing dollar that we have too is certainly being put to good use.
Yeah, cool.
How has the internal results been? I know, like you said, you used to have to go into each individual like location and update there, but you said now that just the marketing team has access to the back end. What is their thoughts on this whole process been? And I think, being on a marketing team myself, the ease of being able to use our back end is really important to all of the stakeholders who are going in every day and updating blogs or website landing pages and all that. So what's been the results there?
I think we've had positive results. I say that because our business partners are working more with us than that we've ever seen before. And that's a powerful moment for us. it is also showing that we understand what their expertise is in and they understand what our expertise is in. And we really appreciate that as co-value creators in this way. And they're not having to go in and figure out, why isn't this break working the way I thought it was going to be? Or how do I get this image or this video or these words? But really relying on us to help drive that forward for them so they can focus on what it is that they do best, whether it's the operations of a site or providing the best experience for a fitness class or a camp, whatever it is. That's what they do day in and day out. And they want to focus on this rather than spending so many hours and times on marketing efforts or publishing on the website. So we have had a lot of great feedback. Certainly there are areas for opportunity, and that's where we continue to invest and say, how can we do things differently or how do we change content? It's always going to happen.
It's always a learning curve too.
Absolutely.
People need to get used to a new system. And even if you don't know kind of how to work around the back end of a website, it can be intimidating.
It sure
can.
And
you have to learn and you have to practice.
It sure can. And so that's, I think, also been a really huge opportunity for us. And what we've seen that success be measured in is just the fact that we're actually seeing a lot more updates now that are happening for content. And so we're seeing that we're applying the methodologies that we put into place and knowing where we want it to go with content. And we're able to do a lot more of that content marketing and not just in a way that we like to call it what was happening in the old age of marketing at the Y was promotional marketing, or what I call flyers and tweets. But now moving to really robust integrated campaigns where they're saying, here's our challenge, or here's what we think is an opportunity. How can you help us? And what do we do? And we're saying, we could do this on the web, and we could do this in terms of this, and we could do this, and we could do this. And they're going, we had no idea we had all this access to this. And so it really is a game changer, and how we've certainly evolved as a marketing team to be able to support the organization.
That's awesome. And I feel like what I know of Kentico, especially in the back end, it kind of encourages this creativity and people and more people to learn how to use it. And like you just said, think, oh, we can do this, we can do that. And there's a lot of different directions the internal team can take it to, which I think is fascinating.
Yeah, I loved hearing one of our team members. We built out a section of our website and we added what is our FAQ section. Yeah. And so we love that as a feature too. I didn't mention that one earlier, but we love the FAQ section.
Let the record
People
show.
love
Let the record show. And we built that, and we built it not as an FAQ and maybe a little bit of a workaround, which I don't always love, but we built it as a quick link section for one of our areas. You would have thought we just handed them a $1 million check that they could go and take to the bank because they were so excited about that one little feature that they were like, I didn't know I could have this. And so it's that type of experience that we're bringing to our own internal teams, and that they're really bought into it because they're seeing that what we can do at the end of the day. And there are improvements that we're working on right now that I know they're going to get jazzed about. Image galleries, the fact that we can have more images as opposed to just one single image in a module, and being able to showcase multiple images. And when you think about that for camp as an example, you want to be able to see the quarters that you're going to be staying in if you're coming for family camp, or what your child is going to experience if they're going to overnight camp. And so these types of enhancements where we're continuing to support that ease of use, the things that you would want as a parent or as an individual who's coming to experience the Y, it's just the exciting things that I get, the small things that I can get excited about a lot.
One of my favorite parts is there's always parallels, right? We're here talking specifically about your story. And something you just said reminded me of a conversation I had with another client who basically said, Wes, thank you for helping me explain to senior leadership that marketing is not just about buying billboard space anymore. And like that was, it was just it's a vivid memory for me, right? Because we're sort of this transformation that you're sharing, I think is applicable to any and all organizations and businesses. And it's, I think we have a lot of clients that will humbly say, like, oh, we must be the worst, we must be the worst that you deal with. And the answer, like, no, we're all in the same boat together on this journey of getting excited about image galleries.
Yeah, absolutely.
and that's okay.
Yeah. And I'm going to trademark flyers and tweets so you can now use it for future conversations. Please attribute that to Brandon Davis, Vice President of Brand Engagement, YMCA Metropolitan Chicago.
We got
copyright 2023.
Instagram handle.
Yes, exactly. But that's right. Is our senior leaders are seeing this and saying, this is not just a billboard. This is not just flyers and tweets. We can't flyer our way out of this.
Yeah.
This is transformation at its finest of how the importance of marketing, and for nonprofits especially, this is a really important point I want to make. Nonprofits have always been criticized in many ways for spending administrative dollars because of this tax status that we have.
Yeah.
Because we're serving communities. And so you absolutely want to maximize that dollar for the programs and those that you're serving. But you can't do that if you're not making sure that you have these other operations in place and these right things. And so for us as a brand marketing comms leader and strategist, we have to make sure that the people know what we offer them. We have to make sure that the people are there to serve. And so it is not just about making sure that there's a billboard out there. That may not be the best use of our funding, or using flyers or sending out a tweet here and there. But it's really understanding where are people that we're trying to reach and serve, and allowing them to be part of our community, welcoming them in. And that's really this transformation that we at the Y are going through, and making sure that we can reach them every single time where they're at. And we're not dwelling on this fact that we're spending money in marketing to support that. That is absolutely what we should be doing. We should be able to use that overhead. And what we like to say a lot of times is nonprofit is a tax status, not a business model. We're a 21st century social enterprise, and we're proud of that.
You should be. After everything I've learned today, I'm like, oh my gosh,
That's
this is so, it's just a great story too to tell all around, with from the website redesign all the way to just talking about how you guys plan to use it to execute and just to continue serving the communities and providing that better experience for everyone involved.
Thanks.
Okay, so one question I wanted to ask was, talking about the future, what are some marketing initiatives kind of that you can talk about? You know, I don't want to press too hard, but just anything coming up in the pipeline that you guys are excited about, or that you are, really putting a lot of work towards developing.
There's a couple that come to mind, and I probably already spilled the beans on this, but we're relaunching a new brand, and that's a really exciting moment. It's in the market. We didn't want this to feel like this light switch aha moment. We wanted people to feel it. We wanted people to see the work that we did with the website. It is far more playful, and we hadn't put out this concept of the power of play, and that is a new tagline for us, but we're heading in that direction. And so later this summer in August, we'll be launching officially the new brand for the YMCA Metropolitan Chicago and the power of play. And you're going to see a lot more of that from us. The other things that I'm getting excited about are the work that we're doing in our communities around health and well-being. And I'm getting really excited about this because we have some really exciting partners. I can't announce those yet, but we have one that just this week committed to us that's going to be really, really big. And what I can say is what we want to do in taking our brand and these partners and experiential opportunities is we literally want to power up play. And so leave that to your minds to wander about the ways in which the Y can help power up play, and our communities can do that. And there's going to be some really exciting moments where we incorporate the marketing to it, the experiential events, and some different things. There's certainly things that we're going to be doing that you can check out on our website, ymcachicago.org, and be able to see how we're helping power up play there. We're also looking at what I'm really excited about too is this isn't just a Y only thing. We have partnerships everywhere. We have partners that are in athletics and sports and all the Chicago sports teams. But we have partners that are in the arts and the culture and humanities. And so we're looking at everyone to say, how can we have these days of play? And what does that actually mean? And so there's going to be an opportunity for us to say, let's have a day of play with AmericanEagle.com. And I don't know what that looks like yet, but we're going to figure it out. We're going to come back out here and have a day of play with the YMCA and just allow people to find playtime for themselves, whatever that means. I tell people I love brand. I love what I do. I love being on a podcast right now. And that's playtime for me. I talk to my friends who are in finance and accounting. And they're like, give me a spreadsheet. And I love that. There are certainly our friends in legal who are like, give me a legal brief. And I'm like, please, God, no, I don't want that. But enjoy. That's playtime for you. I'm here for it. So it's finding those moments of play where you can really find yourself, find what you're passionate about, have a smile, But the science behind play too is really powerful. You're reducing stress. You're helping with positive coping mechanisms. You're just becoming more well-rounded. And so I get really excited about all of this together and where the Y's headed.
Yeah, that's awesome. I can't wait to continue to check back on the website and just kind of look you guys up. All of the social stuff going on too.
Yeah.
It's very exciting. I have one final question for you.
Let's do it.
And that is, what is one main message you want our listeners to take away from today's episode?
One main message.
It's a loaded question, so be careful. No, I'm just kidding.
And no, I think what I want listeners to take away today is that when you have organizations like the YMCA and partners like AmericanEagle.com, there's nothing that you can't do. And that's a really exciting thing when we think about the work that we're doing together and what it is doing ultimately for those that we're setting up these technologies, these strategies for. This is life-changing for people and what we do. And so for us, we don't take that lightly. It's a very serious moment for us. But then to overlay this with this lens of play and allowing people to find play, find their why, that's what I think is the most important piece of today.
Yeah, it's honestly incredible everything that the Y does, and just, helping everybody feel a sense of community and kind of take care of themselves and really prioritize everyone around them, I think is fantastic. And I learned a lot from this episode. I love talking about the website redesign and all of the thinking behind it. And it was really awesome just to get to know you.
Well, thank you. I'm so glad to be here. It was so fun to do it with both of you.
Yes, thank you for guest hosting, Wes. You got all the technical good stuff out for us. So thank you. Thank you for listening to Modern Marketing Messages. For more information about the topics discussed today, check out the description of this episode. If you like this episode, follow the podcast wherever you listen to them to stay up to date with us. While you're at it, give us a rating and share this podcast with others. Don't forget to follow us on social media at Modern Marketing Messages. This episode is brought to you by AmericanEagle.com Studios. I'm Taylor Karg, and I'll be back with another Modern Marketing Message.